Alright guys, today we're looking at basically just graphing points, okay? So for some of you this might be a complete review, for some of you it might be completely new, but we'll take a look at it anyway. So what you see actually down here, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, is called a coordinate plane. Okay, it's called a coordinate plane because it's a plane, meaning a flat surface in which you graph coordinates. So you got to learn kind of what all that stuff means. But basically, there's lots of different coordinate planes you could have. This is a particular one. It's called the Cartesian coordinate plane. So the whole thing's called the coordinate plane. Now, this middle line is called the y-axis, and this line down here is called the x-axis. Basically what we're going to have is the y-axis is kind of like your central line for your vertical values, and it's basically going to say, okay, we're going to label that y-axis with some numbers, and then we're going to use the y-coordinate, which we're going to talk about too, to graph the y portion, and the x-coordinate to graph the x portion. Okay, so that takes care of our first three vocab words. The origin is the point 0, 0. It is the point that is right in the middle. It's where the x and the y-axis meet. Okay, an ordered pair is 2 points, or 2 numbers, excuse me, put in parentheses with a comma in the middle. Values could be positive, negative, fractions, decimals, whatever. And the x, all the ordered pairs go x-coordinate, y-coordinate. Okay, so the x comes first and the y comes second. So that's what the x-coordinate and y-coordinate are. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to use this system to graph individual points. So let's take a look at actually just the ones that I put up there are just fine. 2, 1, and -2, -3. We're going to try graphing both of these. So when you're graphing the point 2, 1, keeping in mind that your x-coordinate comes first and your y-coordinate comes second, what you do is you say, okay, if I found the spot of 2 on my x-axis, that would be right there. If I found the spot of 1 on my y-axis, that'd be right there. If I go over from each of them up and over to where they would meet right here. That's the point 2, 1. The point -2, -3, I'd go -2 on my x-axis, that's right here. I'd go -3 on my y-axis, that's right here. And those points, those meet right there. That's the point -2, -3. That's really all there is to it. I'm going to give you one more point and have you graph it on your own. Let's try the point... let's try 2 points actually. Let's go with the point 4, -5, and let's go with also the point 6, 0. Try graphing 4, -5, 6, 0, pause, and then come back. Alright, 4, -5, that's 4 on my x, that's -5 on my y. Those meet right there. Zeros can be a little tricky, I suppose, but hopefully nothing too bad. It means 6 on the x and 0 on the y. Those meet right there. Woohoo. One last thing that you should be able to do is if I put a random point on here, you should be able to go back and give me the coordinates of that point. So let's try that really quickly. I'm going to give you a point right here. Okay, I made it nice and big so hopefully you can count. So why don't you label that point? Alright, hopefully you labeled that point as -3 for x. See, I go back 1, 2, 3, and I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my y. So that's the point -3, 5. There's some other vocab words that we have here too that I didn't list above because I knew they were going to go right on here anyway. See how this graph is broken up into 4 different sections? Okay, so like here is the area where x's and y's are all positive. Here x's are negative, y's are positive, and so on. Those are called quadrants. You can guess why they're called quadrants, because there's 4 of them. This is the first quadrant, and then the quadrants go counterclockwise from there. Now you might be asking yourself, well, why is this one 1 and why do we go counterclockwise? I don't know why we go counterclockwise, to tell you the truth, but I know that we start with this one as the first quadrant probably because all x values and y values are positive in there, so it just makes sense that a positive area would be the first quadrant. That's it for this one. Try some practice problems, take a concept quiz.